Hello guys and welcome back on this new video where we're going to continue to talk about structure of a C++ program. Today we're going to discuss about main function and also we're going to talk about namespace. So let's start with the main function. What is the structure of the name function? The name function can be defined like that: integer main uh, without any parameter like you see over there, and between the both curly braces we're going to provide our code, our full code with all the variable and all the detail, and we're going to terminate it with the return. Okay, the return keyword that's going to return an, a, an integer, since we have an integer over there. Okay, so this is the first case. Normally, since we have an integer here, if you change that 0 to a string or something else that is not an integer, you're going to have a compile error and your code is not going to be able to execute. So that's a little bit it about main function, but I should specify that you're going to have some cases where you're going to have some parameter. You can have a parameter e uh, and the parameter b. Okay, so you want to have some function that gonna looks like that with a couple of parameter, but for this one that's it. We don't have any parameter. I mean, you're gonna find some cases where your main function gonna have maybe two parameter or more than two parameter, maybe three parameter. So you can have that kind of option sometime. So that's a little bit about the main function, and I want to add before to move on the next on the namespace that you're always going to have a main function on your C++ code. So take it down and let's move on the namespace right now. So when we are talking about namespaces, right now you can see right there that I've added on the top on the header that I'm going to use namespace standard. I've write I've written using namespace std, which means using namespace standard. Okay, it's not always a good practice inside the big uh, a great project program, because there is a way that we have some conflict, maybe because we have defined some namespace health that has another specification. So when you're going to put the standard here, we can have defined some specific namespace, maybe a namespace unique, because C++ can allow us to do that. So sometimes the best practice should be to define exactly what we're going to use the namespace for, and just make sure to specify it on the top. So how are we going to do that? For example, since here we are using namespace standard for cout, cin, and l. Okay, I'm going to specify it on top over there, and I'm just going to say using standard. I will precise the scope for cout. Only use what you need, right? So we're going to use only what we need. So I'm going to do the same for my different path. I'm going to use it as well for seeing and finally I will use it for NL. So on most of the case, when you are working on the big project, this should be the best practice to define your namespace to avoid every namespace conflict. Okay, so this one is NL. Okay, so once I do that, you're going to see that if I'm trying to execute my program again, everything gonna works normally. View workspace pane. Okay, right. So if I'm trying to compile it like that, you can see that it's still working. You see, it's working. So that one is same with using namespace std standard. If I'm compile it, you will see that it's still gonna work. You see, yeah. So that's a little bit it. If I'm not putting that standard here, we're gonna have an issue. Let's see that. If I'm doing like that and I'm trying to compile it, you're gonna see that I'm gonna have error. See, 3 error because we have this one, and this that need to be specified in namespace. Okay, so also there's another way to do that, but that one is not really the best practice because it's a lot of type writing. You can add standard with the scope everywhere that you need it, but it's not really a good practice. It's taking a while to do that. So the previous one that I've shown, the previous one that I've showed to you a couple of seconds ago is the best way to do that. I can do that. Okay. Okay. I did a mistake here. What? I mean, I can do that as well. So just add the standard in front of all the keyword that need the standard namespace and precise the scope. But it's a lot of work. So you can see that if I'm trying to compile it like that, you see you're gonna have a successful completed successfully as well with 0 error, 0 warning. So that's a little bit it about namespace. So we have learned a little bit about the structure concerning the structure of the main function and the basic function of main function, and also we are talking about namespaces. So if you have learned something new, give a thumbs up to this video and see you on the next video. Bye.